it dawned on me recently that there are so many like YouTubers and influencers who are originally from, you know, one state or one country and completely pick up their entire life and move elsewhere. Charlene Nim, who's originally German, if I'm not mistaken, moved to the UK. I know there's a girl on Instagram called Toronto Shay, and she moved from Toronto, packed up and moved to the UK. Lady Picasso is originally from the States and she's just recently moved to Italy. You just see all of these influencers and YouTubers who have picked up their lives, moved elsewhere, and now they're like, you know, vlogging their lives and showing their lives, and things look so amazing and everything's going well and they have the support system, they're making hundreds and thousands of dollars and everyone's just A-O-OK, when in reality we are not okay. We are not okay, and I laugh because if I don't laugh I will cry. Hi, hello, what's goody? Welcome to my channel. My name is Meech. If you're new, if you're a returning subscriber, as always, grateful to have you here. I wanted to film a expat diaries video. I'm still trying to find like the direction, basically just what I want them to look like visually, how I want them to be, but I will link my previous video up in the cards over here. So definitely take a look if you haven't already on like just backstory in terms of like me moving and everything else, if you are new of course. So let's get straight into this fantastic update, shall we? I want to talk about three things. I want to talk about moving, I want to talk about friendships, and I want to talk about mental health, because they are probably the three things I can update you guys on. Moving. I've been here for a year now. Moving was the toughest thing ever. Like, it was actually the toughest thing ever. Like, let's not even get into the costs of moving, okay? I just mean in terms of like actually moving over here. I had done it once, so I stupidly, maybe naively thought that it would be easy to do it a second time. I was like,
oh, I did all the grafting in 2019. You know, I've made all those friendships, I've met recruiters, I've networked, you know, I've done my thing. I should be able to move back, find a full-time job real quick. I should be able to just move into an apartment, etc., like super quick. I've got savings, you know, I've got time.
Girl, I moved in the middle of a panini press. I don't know why I thought everything was going to be smooth sailing, because it was not. It took me 3 months to find a full-time job, and to keep it 100 with you, I had my last full-time job just before Christmas. So I was pretty much unemployed for almost 6 months, or should I say I didn't have a full-time job for 6 months. So your girl was literally just living on vibes, savings, credit cards, lip gloss, $1 and a dream. That was it. That was absolutely it. Just faith that everything was gonna work out. That's one thing. So yeah, moving here was not as smooth as it was the first time. I don't know why I thought it would be, but it wasn't as smooth as it was. So that took its toll on me. Let's not even get started on actually like having the full-time job, having the income to actually rent an apartment. Now, when that comes, all the costs of having an apartment come up. Now, I had a lot of stuff in storage, like in terms of everything to kind of furnish my bedroom. I had a bed, I had, you know, all of that stuff I needed. You know, I could furnish my room, but in terms of like the main areas, again, you look at like YouTubers and influencers who furnish their houses really quickly, or you know, they turn around an apartment tour within a month of moving in. If you are not financially in a position to like just blow a bag, you'll understand that I have been living in this apartment for over 6 months and it's still not fully furnished. It's comfortable, it's livable, but it's not fully furnished. and I'm in no rush to furnish it. There were definitely days where I was working out in the middle of my empty living room with my TV still on the floor. No Chromecast, nothing, just TV. Like, it wasn't even a smart TV, it was just a TV. It was just vibes, it was just a TV. I remember not wanting to talk to my mum about it when I originally first moved over in 2019. I remember just being in my room, like, I'd been at my job now for like a month. I had found a room share with 2 other lovely girls. I sat on my mattress in my empty room and I was like, I have made the biggest mistake. Why the hell am I in another continent with no friends, no family? Like, what the F am I doing? Like, literally, I sat on this mattress on the floor and I wept. Like, I was so sad just because it was winter. And I think if you have moved to Canada or experienced the Canadian winter, you'll understand. The reason I didn't tell anyone that time was because I just feel like there's this big thing in which when you move away from home and you tell someone you're having a bad time, or you miss home, or you miss elements of home, should I say, they always hit you with, well, no one told you to move back, no one told you to move over there, no one told you to move halfway across the world. And it's like, don't shame me for wanting to be independent. Don't shame me for recognizing that I don't want to settle here and there's more to life than London. Don't shame me for that. So yeah, ultimately I never told anyone at that time, and I just thought I'd made the biggest mistake. I never told my mom, and I told her last year and she was so sad, like, that I had never told her and that I just kept it and that was what I was dealing with. Oh honey, it was 10 times worse this time. The homesickness was 10 times worse this time. It was worse because we were in a pandemic. It was worse because I thought I'd done all the grafting and that I was just gonna come back. I'd pause life. I was just about to come back, press play. It was not the case. Just everything that we've all been through over the last 2 years, 3 years, or however long it's been now, because I'm losing count. I think a lot of people realize what was important. And for me, when I go through tough times, I really like to have my family around. So being that, I moved over and things weren't panning out how they should have been, I really felt it. And I had a lot of bad days, a lot of bad days. There was nothing that could make me feel better, nothing. I just was homesick. I remember just having to try to do things that make me feel happy, whether that was just making a cup of tea, filling my home with flowers and just trying to raise my vibrations and just trying to make my apartment feel more homey, just things like that. I just want to encourage anyone who might be watching this, who is an expat, or anyone that's moved away, or maybe you have a friend who's moved away, check in with them. Because as much as we're going through a tough time, sometimes we just want to feel like a little piece of home, and sometimes we just want to just talk and not be shamed for making the decision to drop everything and go. Sometimes we just want a little piece of home, non-judgmental, just some encouragement. Send a text. And that brings me to my next thing, friendships. I've been in this open air prison we call Toronto for a year, and we have been in and out of lockdown. As I film this, we're currently in a lockdown, with restrictions lifting in a few days, but we're still in a lockdown, point blank period. Now, I was in London the whole of 2020, so I was in a lockdown. I moved back to Toronto and I went back into a lockdown. Things opened up, then we went back into a lockdown. Now, if you follow me on social media, you'll know I went Vegas in September and I went New York in November, so I managed to get a little piece of outside, but I was very much in lockdown. The social scene was not social scening. The outside was not outsiding. I really romanticized 2019. I'm super grateful for the village that I created in 2019 because I've been able to maintain a lot of those friendships and do things with them that felt safe and comfortable for all of the parties involved. Obviously it's been difficult, but the social scene hasn't been the same. One thing or one drawback or one thing I would like to talk about is just being an expat, tiptoeing that line of wanting to be independent but also always wanting to have your friends around. Sometimes, even though you have lots of friends, you still feel super lonely. You want to feel independent and like you can figure it out and you can do everything, and life isn't getting to you, and you're able to like soldier through this, but sometimes you realize you just want to have people around all the time. The most difficult thing for me to do has just been to be independent but still recognize that I have people around me that are in the same position. And again, if you're an expat, I encourage you to make friends who are also expats, because I feel like there's just this understanding that only we have with each other. It doesn't even have to be moving to another country. Sometimes it's just moving to another city. Like if you're watching this and you're currently in Canada and you've moved from Vancouver to Ontario, or you've moved from, Ontario to Quebec, like make friends from different cities, like within the same country, because who have done like the same thing and like moved, because there's like an unspoken understanding that you have, and things just feel a little bit easier, just a little bit, just a tiny bit. But that difference, that small difference that it makes, it's really something. To just cultivate your village, cultivate your friendships. Like, I'm not saying pour your entire self into friendships and your village and stuff, but definitely like be open to making new friends. I've met some lifelong friends and I met them on Facebook groups. Like, it's always funny when we go out and people see us together and they're just like, how do y'all know each other? Like, how are you like such good friends like this? And I'm just like, we met on a Facebook group. I'm pretty sure my first 2 friends I met on Facebook groups, and they're both still my friends today. There's so many Facebook groups. Like, shoot, leave a comment down below and let me know if there's any Facebook groups I need to join or anything in Toronto, because I'm trying to meet some new people. Not that I'm trying to like replace the friends I already have. I love y'all, but like it's always nice to meet people with other different interests and like different hobbies, and just learn what the city has to offer. The last thing I wanted to talk about was just mental health. I feel like I kind of touched on it a little bit, but I've really dedicated a lot of time to meditating. If you haven't ever heard of it, there's an app called Balance, and currently they are offering, I think it's a year free. I don't remember how much the app actually costs. I know it's like something like $60, maybe more, for the year, but like you can get meditations, and it's gotten to a point now I'm pretty sure I meditate minimum 4 times a week, if not every day, using the app, 3 to 10 minutes, and it makes a difference. Learning to be a watchman over my thoughts, learning how my thoughts turn into like negative patterns and negative thoughts and throw me into like a complete crazy headspace. Like, I'm really just trying to find that balance, no pun intended, making myself happy and looking after myself, and just knowing that I cannot pour from an empty cup, and I can't give this city the best version of myself if I'm doing nothing to look after myself. I've definitely done a lot of working out over the last year. I've taken a lot of walks. Like I said, I've filled my home with fresh flowers. I've painted. I have gone out and seen the city and done different things, and really just tried to take advantage of the summer, because the winter is not where it's at for mental health. Not Canadian winters anyway. The winters are so sad. The winters are so sad. Again, if I don't laugh, I'll cry. So yeah, the winters are like so sad. Sometimes it's just like everybody's indoors. You don't really see anybody. Like, nobody's trying to be outside unless they have to be. So yeah, summer's like where it's at, and summer's like a whole different city. It just feels like a whole different time. But if you're into skiing and everything else, maybe you'll enjoy the winters, but not me. I didn't want it to be a super long video. I guess I just wanted to record this more so to give you an update. Obviously on what's been going on over the last year. I'm going to try and film these videos more frequently as the seasons change. I'll try and do more of these kind of updates, but I hope that's given some encouragement, especially if you're watching this as somebody who has moved to a different city. Like, despite everything that I've said, I love it here and I can't see myself moving anywhere else. And I understand that sometimes even in the midst of darkness, I have to be my own light. And that is what I'm striving to do right now. Be my own hype man and really just advocate for myself and just remember why I came here and take care of my mental health and cultivate great friendships and like a strong support system. And also just give myself grace, especially in terms of like moving and thinking that everything would pan out like smoothly. Like, I'm just really trying to give myself grace. So I just want to encourage you, you know, if you're thinking of moving, if you have moved and you're watching this and you relate, like, definitely, you know, use my comments as a sounding board. Let me know how your move is going or where you're trying to move to or where you have moved to. A lot of people are going to try and like almost make you feel small unintentionally, maybe, and they're going to try and almost shame you for moving over, especially if things aren't panning out how you thought they would. They'll try and encourage you to come home. They'll almost try and affirm to you that you've made a mistake. But if you know in your heart that when you moved here it was what you wanted, then push through. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I really hope you've enjoyed my little life update. Hopefully the next expat diaries video will be a little bit more upbeat, and maybe I'll have some like really cool updates to share with you guys. But for now, I just wanted to humbly come to you, like honestly give you an update and just let you know how it's been for myself as much as it is for you guys, just so I can watch this back and see, you know, how far I've come. Because I'm confident that things will get better. I'm confident that even though I've had bad days, I've had really great days in equal measure, and you know, I love them and I live for them. I also believe in showing those bad days or speaking about them, because I just want to encourage somebody else, that's all. Of course, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps the algorithm, and I hope I can get this out to people who want to see this video. So if you've been sharing my content and you've been loving my content lately, then definitely give me a thumbs up. If this is the first video you've come across and you are not subscribed and you enjoyed this video, then I'm just going to try and encourage you to subscribe. No force, but also press the button. Otherwise, stay fierce, stay real, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.